Greetings and salutations. I am Bajongles, and if you enjoy my content, consider following me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Bajongles1, where I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at noon Pacific Standard Time. You could also, if you'd be so kind, check out my Bluesky and Tumblr, both at BigBoyArt1, username Bajongles. Also, if you wanted to check my VODs out, consider liking and subscribing here on YouTube. It would be much appreciated. And with that, back to your regularly scheduled program. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? Sorry for the not even a minute delay, but like the slight delay. Not to actually starting. I was getting myself cereal. How is everybody? I am doing pretty good. Let me set some stuff up real quick. I'm not gonna start music yet, but I'm just setting it up. I am doing good. I keep having ideas. I keep having ideas. I am cursed with having so many ideas. I'm the idea haver. I keep having stuff for like new art assets, new project ideas. I really need to write down all my project ideas. Hmm. Because today I got a flash of inspiration. I thought, you know how cool it would be to do like a show inspired by like PBS, American Public Broadcasting Service. Um, mm, sorry, I'm eating. Like American PBS shows or shows distributed on American Public Broadcasting. Because like they were a major influence over my life, and how I grew up. Mm. I have this sort of joke, not even a joke, but like this sort of phrase of like I I I was raised by three things: my mom, my grandpa, and PBS. And so like public broadcasting is very important to me. And I thought it'd be cool, eventually once I have more resources to do so, have like a channel that's like here's a fun like educational show or multiple, who knows, if I have that kind of, if I have like those kinds of resources. It's not to say that like American PBS is under, well, it is kind of under attack, but like it's not like it's being super threatened right now, right? Like it is a lot of shows. Some shows that I grew up with are making a comeback, like the Wildcrats. um for those who don't know, basically a mix of animation and live action, to talk about our natural world and all the animals in it. Uh, Done by, as the name implies, the Krat brothers, who also did Zaboomafoo. Mm, water. Like stuff like that, and Dinosaur Train. Oh my god, God, did I love Dinosaur Train. I watched PBS Kids way deeper into my life than like a lot of people might have. I remember that like I was starting to teeter away from it once I entered middle school, but I didn't really like leave it until like I don't know, midway through sixth grade, maybe seventh grade. Sesame Street, Word Girl, uh, Sid the Science Kid. Let's see, I can't. I could probably like look at a list and be like, this is what I watched, this is what I didn't watch, but like, there's so many that I can't think of them all on the top of my head. But each time I think of them, there are new ones. There are new shows. Caillou. Uh, the big red the big, not the big red couch. The big comfy couch was a bit before my time. I never ended up seeing it, but like it feels like it would have been right up my alley if I had seen it as a kid. It's a bunch of clowns and puppets. I still love, I still love that kind of shit. I love clowns and puppets. Mm. That being said, I think we've gone without music for long enough, so I'm gonna put on Outer Wilds. Mm. There we go. Awesome. Let me hear how it sounds. All right, that's a good volume, I think. That's a good volume. All right. Ah, popping my joints. But yeah, no, as it says on the announcements on my socials. By the way, my socials should I didn't do anything to try and fix them, but it doesn't seem like anything's wrong. It doesn't seem like anything's wrong. I might need to like go to creator dashboard and it doesn't seem like it's an extension. Oh well. Prime messages don't seem to really be working on Nightbot, which is unfortunate. Basically, they're just reminders like, hey, I have socials. Right? And like, I want to do those, but without necessarily having to remember to say it because I am mentally ill and I'm bad at remember. I'm bad at remembering, so like, having automatic messages is convenient. Uh, that being said, the canvas is blank today because am doing different concepts. I'm doing it for the same thing, right? But I'm not doing characters or like little guys today. I'm gonna try and do environments. You know what? You're a nice color. Don't forget the hand stretches when you're doing art. It's very important because it helps prevent or at least alleviate carpal tunnel. Very important reminder. Whap, 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 whap. I also need to remember to do squats. I did some today, but I need to remember to do more uh in the future. Is getting some sort of exercise is important, even if you and especially if you like in my case live a pretty sedentary life, relatively speaking. I'm not as sedentary as I could be, but also like I am more sedentary than I should be, you know? So I am gonna try and like do some more exercises and stretch, mostly stretching, honestly. I mean, stretching is exercise. Hold on. Sorry about that. Somebody was telling me that they were heading out. I saw a picture of the Matterhorn, so I'm trying to sort of recreate like that flat edge there. Because I think that that would be an interesting thing. Like I know the Matterhorn is very German. It's in Germany, right? It might be in Austria or Switzerland. You know what? Whatever the case, whatever the case. think the general shape of the town, it'll have a little bit that goes in deeper. Because that's the way you're supposed to go, right? You're supposed to go up like that, and then you go out, but here's the entrance. Yeah, like that. There we go. I'm gonna look at some, like, different kinds of architecture to actually get down the vibe of the town another time. Probably next week. Maybe have like an interesting power. I just started talking? Uh, is that's not part of the song. That's kind of weird. So why is this music so loud? I have it down to like 27. When I say loud, I mean loud on my end. Not necessarily loud on your guys' end. Alright, cool. Alright, let's see. Sound setting. No, I don't want to open up a second instance of OBS. Settings. Volume mixer. Does this alter what it's like for you guys? Hold on. No, it still sounds good. It still sounds good on your guys' end. Okay, that is fine and cool. Wow, wow, I think a lot of the architecture and stuff I want to like take inspiration from, I don't know, Tibetan probably. I'm thinking Tibetan. Because like, you know, these monkey people are raiders, and so it makes sense that they would have a different aesthetic than like the environment that they're in. Full of many, 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 many people. I don't quite like the scale that I have going on here, but that's fine. It's a thumbnail. Mm. Water. Very importante. Muy importante. Para pa pa para pa 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 para pa 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 para pa 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 pa. There we go. Awesome. I noticed this week has been a bit of a slow week. I wonder what I've been doing wrong. Well, not even wrong, but like I wonder what's been happening. I guess sometimes a slow week just happens. I like, can we just say in regards to Eurovision, get fucked, Israel. Get fucked. Why are you even there? Muy importante. Let's see if I. There we go. And so there's a moon being hung from the ceiling. I just got an idea. I just got an idea. Let me change the color. Let me change the color. I have an interesting idea. A fiddler, perhaps. A fiddler on the moon. And not only are they a fiddler, but I think it would be interesting to have a recurring character for the levels that is like a fun little narrator. Sort of like at the beginning, like I will take you to a magical land. No, that sort of person, that sort of vibe. I think that this is a little tiny mock. This is canonically like magic exists, right? So they can like change and shift an illusion. If I make you, I don't know, like 75% opacity. I'm gonna lower your size down to like, I don't know, 8. It would also be interesting if the narrator had my mask. You know the one, it's in the profile picture. Also, I'm slowly learning more and more about clowns and like the meaning and history behind different like aspects of clowning. And so I hope to take that not only into consideration. How the fuck do you hold a? Okay, so you have. Okay, sorry, I had to imagine for a moment. A violinist is probably gonna enter my house and at gunpoint be like, "That is not how it is done. That is not how a violin works." And it's like, okay, cool. I didn't know how one worked, so like, thank you for your help. I think I think having like long, funny boots, maybe even with like a curl like that, having them go like this might be cool, and having it be like big here, fucking big. Muy importante. All right, there we go. All right, that big tall pointy hat helps fill out the silhouette a little bit. I like that now. There we go. I don't actually know what any of that notation means in regards, but I'm guessing. Okay, so this is like a C or something, and then this goes to that, and then it flows into this, which is a sharp note. I don't know what that means, but it's fine. It's fine. There we go. Something's kind of interesting about the mask that I gave upon myself, gave unto myself even, and that is because it's pink and has a big red nose. Uh, that means that technically I have an August clown mask, which is interesting because you'd think that the leader of the clowns would be a what is known as a neat white face clown. There's those like really regal ass looking clowns with like the neat and tidy makeup and matching outfits, the whole shebang. And then there's the grotesque white face clowns, which are much more colorful and extravagant. They're the ones with like the really out there. They're the white face clowns with like the out there hair and outfits, and oftentimes like the big red nose. And then you have the August, which are like the red face clowns. And so you could always tell who would be the like leading the joke and who would be like following the joke, because there would be the white face clown and then the August, and then I learned part of the reason why the hobo or tramp clown became such a big thing in the U.S. is because a lot of the poor and unshaven like hands at the circuses would like last minute put on makeup and like perform a little bit while they were setting the stage for a new show, or not a new show, but like a new a new gag. And over time, they got popular enough that like that just became its own form, like its own recognized form of clowning. It also has a really long history spanning back to the Roman Empire and like Rome's version of clowning. Which I could probably send. I'm gonna probably send a video about that sometime. Or like I'm gonna be like, I found this like somewhere in the Discord, probably my socials too. I was just like, I found this. It's very helpful. It talks about the history of clowns. I also think maybe having like a fun little like forest area here would be. There we go. Yeah, a forest like that. With art, all you need to do is imply the existence of detail. If it can do that right, people can tell what you mean. Sometimes all that matters is if you understand what you mean. Yeah, there we go. I definitely messed up the scale a fair bit, but I think that that's fine. I think that that's fine for like a mock. You can probably tell what kind of mountains I see all the time because this is just sort of how I do them. Is that when they're not volcanic, they're probably the Rockies. Because like we have volcanoes, and we have non-volcanic mountains. Hmm. However, instead of like, for instance, with the Himalayas, where it's two continental plates coming together, our mountains are formed because a continental and an oceanic plate are interacting, where the oceanic plate is going underneath the continental. In this case, depending on where you are, either like up here, either the Pacific plate or the Juan de Fuca plate. I think the Juan de Fuca uh is why we have the Cascades. If I'm remembering right, if I'm remembering my geological history correct. I like art. I like making stuff. It's very nice. It's very nice and cool. Remember, kids, drink your water. That's what I'm about to do. Hmm. Wah, wah, wah. 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 I think that feels like that's what this means, and it's a pleasant motif. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah. I do like I don't know, a forest or some shit. There we go. In a far-off land, there was a village. Small, quaint, buried deep in the mountainside. We find ourselves. Felt out the guy. Yeah, I'll figure that out. I'll figure that out. I'll figure that out. Da, 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 there we go. Yeah, no. Okay, but I will have a town. Right, basically, there's like a gate and a wall. There. It goes down, and then I think. Okay, so on this side there should be stores of some kind. Market. Some sort of central plaza here. Then if I do this right, this can be farmland. And on this side, I think maybe more housing. And then over here, a bit more farmland. And then out here, probably some like more rural, like again, more farmland. You always underestimate the amount of not farmland, pasture land out here. You underestimate the amount of land needed to produce food. There we go. Water. And I think that here there should be like a tower. Actually, I think there should be a funny little tower out here, a bit away from everything else. There could even be a wizard here. A fun ass wizard. There we go. Da, 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 da. There we go. Awesome. Now I will lower this one to like, I don't know, 66. Lower this one down to like 75. There we go. Actually, what I could do is do that. Hmm. Ba, 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 ba. I think it would be fun to try this out. Okay, and if I... Wait, are you a different... Yes, you are. It's been a while since I've done this sort of like scratchy fill-in pattern. I like it a lot. It's just a bit... It's just a bit time-consuming, you know? There we go. And I can use this to sort of represent the farmland. None of this is supposed to be exact or even, correct. It just has to get the idea across. Of course, a big thing I'm gonna need to do is add color to this. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I don't need to add color to this so that I can just be like, hey, here's some concept art for a funny little scene. It's sort of formatted like it's down here and there's like a guy sitting on a moon playing the fiddle and talking about the funny events. There we go. All right. Something I like about this sort of form of filling stuff in is that uh, it slowly transforms from like throwing stuff at the wall to seeing what sticks and like problem solving. You know, from going with the flow to like careful consideration. Wizard Tower. Awesome. There we go. There we go. That is a little bit fixed even more. That is cool. Art. You get this. Can help me get what I want. Got a little spot and tell me that you're mine and you know that you're not reaching you. And know that you're not reaching me. She's an absolute, absolute territory. Help me get what I want. The Fiddler with a Booth. America, she's an absolute terror for absolute territory. Ah, there we go. There we are. Concept art time. It's always fun. Da 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 He's an absolute terror for absolute territory. There we go. A very simple redwood. If you just do wah da 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 da, and then a trunk, and then show the tree tops of other trees. He's like, I don't know, a spruce or something. There we go. Awesome. Awesome and cool and epic. He's an absolute terror for absolute territory. There we go. You're not teasing me. He's an absolute terror for absolute territory. Awesome. Da 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 da. Doesn't please you. More people. More people in the stands. Well, welcome to the hydraulic press channel. God, the other day I made a joke. I made a joke of like if the slingshot channel guy was like a wizard. Just this is my little homunculus. Let me show you its features. And I find it very silly. So I am going to do this, raise this up to, I don't know, 32? 32 is good. Alright, but don't worry. This is just the like bottom layer. Let's try soft light. Yeah, if I do soft light over top. Okay, and if I have you, but lower you did. I don't know that green. What if I changed you to hard light? Okay. Now, this does not need to be at all exact, which is why I'm doing it the way I am. It just has to get the idea across. I'm hoping to get like a couple of these done today. Like this one and like maybe one more. That's like either on the mountain or like in the town maybe. Sorry I'm leaning back. That probably affects my acoustics somewhat, but like I'm relaxing. I'm chilling. I'm being chilling. Being chilling. Alright, I do that. Then if I need to make it a bit less. There we go. Ah, da, 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 da. Ah, boy. I think a lot of the colors of this town are gonna be like red and white, or maybe like sort of a blood orange, uh, and white. I think that would be cool. Also, I really like this like general layout that I have going on. It's very nice. I keep messing up what I don't want to mess up. There we go. Farewell world, I am for me and you. There we go. Well, it's glowing now. I guess. I mean, it's not really. It's not gonna actually glow unless it's like on fire, which it probably will be. It'll probably be on fire. But like, oh well, it's how it is. I do the green. Yeah, if I do the green here, as is quite intended. There we go. I do this, I think. And then you will give me a very, very sharp red color. There we go. Let me go to like, I don't know, size 16 maybe? There we go. Ah, wonderful. Wonder Bar, even. Oh, wow, wow.
Hey, Monster. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? How's the music, by the way? It should be good on your end. It's a little bit loud on my end. I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. Right now, I'm sort of pivoting to doing some more like environmental pieces for my concept art. As you can see, I've been doing this for the past like hour and a half. And once I not too loud, not too quiet. That is wonderful to hear. I've been getting into like a nostalgic PBS kick today. But in sort of a weird way because I keep having more and more ideas for like new projects. Uh some of which that I don't want to do and know I can't do for a long time. One of which in this case is what if, what if I made like a show that is like some of those PBS kids shows that I grew up with, because like there's sort of a humorous phrase that I say to myself and sometimes others, where it's like I was raised by three people, not even three people, three things: my mom, my grandpa, and PBS public broadcasting television. You know, stuff like Sesame Street and Word World and all that kind of stuff. And so seeing like people in the future, like now and in the future, like I see it that as it is it is necessary that sort of like public access, like educational kids content is like incredibly important for the well-being of people. How about, oh god, of course, Wild Kratts. Hmm. Dinosaur Train was also a big one for me when I was young. Yeah, no, exactly. And I'd eventually like to make a show, uh, in sort of that vein, that's educational and helpful and makes and shows people. I think the biggest thing that PBS does for kids is it shows, especially like with stuff like Sesame Street, that like people are people, right? And like it just because they're different doesn't mean it's wrong. And like it shows all sorts of, because PBS was originally not PBS. Sesame Street was meant to help educate like poor and more inner city kids, which is why it's in the setting that it is. It's in Sesame Street, right? And it's clear that it's a more like densely populated area, right? And like all these people would come on, and it would be like you'd basically see the world in this one little street. And I think that sort of thing is very valuable for kids to learn, that like people are people. And I think that's why the current administration in this country is trying to defund PBS. Because, like, it's hard to spread their hateful message when people are raised on the fact that everyone is equal and, like, all deserve love and respect from like, everybody. These kinds of shows also get kids curious and wanting to learn, which is, I think, the most valuable lesson that I had from like both my mom and grandpa, but also like PBS. Oh, fun fact, and you weren't here last stream, so but I did say last stream, so I'm gonna reiterate it now. Um, I think I said it. I definitely found out about it like on the same day as last stream of Sesame Street is being picked up by Netflix and is going to be like co-released on PBS, so it's not just gonna be Netflix. It's just that like Netflix is sort of footing the bill for it. Yeah, no. So Sesame Street is fine. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Uh, and like, oh shit, it's working this stream. Holy shit. A Nightbot didn't work last stream. It's working now. Maybe we aren't in the worst timeline. You know, people say, "Oh my god, we're the worst timeline." It's like we help determine that, right? Like our actions determine how good or bad things can get, right? So like, let's not get dejected and like give up just because things are going bad. Right? There's only so much I can do right now, but eventually I'll be able to do more and more and more and more and more, like going forward, which means that I can make a positive change in the world. And so like, you know, we're not in the worst timeline because there are people that there's people around that care and are doing good things. Is basically what I'm saying. Once once I have money, you bet your ass I'm paying the $60 a year for the PBS streaming service. Also, fun fact: the PBS streaming service is free, right? It is public access, so like it is free. You don't need to give them money to access like PBS stuff like on their streaming service, but you can give them money. And so once I have access to giving them money, that is exactly what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, this production was made possible by viewers like you. Thank you. And and like and Masa, when they said that at the beginning, they meant it because the biggest amount of money that they rake in is from like donated, like it's being donated to them, right? Like it's sometimes by big donors, but also by like a bunch of little donors, right? So like government funding actually makes up only like 13% of their overall funding, which means that if we can pitch in and make sure that like they don't need that extra money from the government, that means that whatever the administration says doesn't mean shit to PBS. Yeah, I remember it playing at the beginning of most episodes. Like it was a reminder at the beginning of everything. Like this was made possible by viewers like you. Thank you. And like it was always personalized to the show. Like for instance in Arthur, they always had a beginning where like the different main characters of Arthur would say like that this was made possible from viewers like you. And like I feel like that is the TV equivalent to like in the video game, like if you're playing a video game and like in the credits it said and special thanks to you, or like Mario going thank you so much for playing my game, right? Like it makes you feel special. At least it made me feel special. Hmm. And it feels sort of in the same vein of like, you know, this wouldn't be possible without the people. Yeah, exactly. Public broadcasting is extremely valuable, both in the radio and TV space, and even more so now with the internet. And like I will say, public broadcasting is sort of the bare minimum that like a government can provide its people, right? Like be it news or like how our PBS is, right? Like it's sort of the bare minimum in terms of like providing for people, right? Which is what a government should be doing, is providing for its citizens. Yeah, just like universal health care funded by the tax system, and universal basic income. Actually, no, most places don't do universal basic income, but that's something I hope for. Because it would be nice to have, for everybody to have enough money to like have their basic needs met. I'm not gonna say that like the systems with universal healthcare are perfect, right? Because they're not. They have a lot of problems. I would much rather have those problems than the problems we have with our healthcare. All right, there we go. That's good. It would be a kind. Yeah. I mean, we might get there sooner rather than later if like this whole system collapses, which it currently is, because that means that eventually something new will come in its place. And like, look at a lot of Europe. A lot of stuff collapsed, and then they had made a slightly better system out of everything. So here's hope. Mm. You couldn't see it, but I cheersed my big cup of water and drank it. Yeah, that really depends on the forest, though. Just like it really depends on the system. He's like, for instance, with systems like Russia, it feels like when one regime is overturned, not a lot of work is done to prevent a similar thing from taking its place. Yeah, Gumpai. Cheers. Alright, this one is done, which means I'm going to screenshot it. There we go. Awesome. It has been screenshotted. Alright. Yeah, it's very nice. I actually typically do cell shading. It may not look like it on my art because of how complex things get. Like for instance, I don't know if you saw this. Also, don't mind it taking a while. This is a big art piece. There we go. This is the progress I've made on Tuesday's art piece. By the way, yes, I stream on Tuesdays. This is what I've done. I did a little bit extra off stream too. Like he was mostly unshaded, and I did that. Uh, this is all using gradient maps, by the way. Like I didn't color any of this manually. This is all like technically black and white with a gradient map like put on it. Yeah, no, it's very nice, and it's not even done yet. Hold on, let me put on a sketch. I haven't even done this guy in the foreground yet. But once I do, and then do his shading, which shouldn't take too long, then I can get to the flat colors. And once I do the flat colors, then I can do some final rendering stuff. And after that, it's done. Uh, Piano on Tuesdays I do a One Piece fan art series. This is of the red-haired pirates, as you can see on the top here. No, I would not like to save it because I made no changes. Uh, yeah, no gradient maps. Very cool, very fun. So sometimes I do like, okay, how I do my shading. Typically is that I do a bunch of cell shading with like a few different uh values. And then like if it's a more realistic piece, I'll blend the shading together, right? Because like at the end of the day, all shading is cell shading just with some added detail. Ow, that hurt my ears. Actually, no, my ear because I only have one headphone in. There we are. Man, it's really nice to know that Nightbot is working today. It didn't do that for the first half hour. It looks like it does a delay of like an hour or something before it like actually gets in, which I fully respect. That's very cool. Wow, wow. Yeah, I've studied a lot of like how traditional painters would do it, and it really is just like a lot of them, especially Renaissance, would do like a big block of shading and then have a little bit to like blend a little bit to the lighter colors, right? Like the shading is actually not that complex, and it's all just like one value of shading, and then like a base color, like a mid-tone color, and then like highlight, and that's it. Right, they really knew how to simplify the values. Alright, there we go. This isn't even like I this I just remembered an idea I had, and I said this out loud earlier. But I would repeat myself because I like talking. I like demystifying art. Doesn't take away the sense of wonder, but makes art feel more approachable. Yeah, no, exactly. Like I saw somebody make an argument about uh AI quote unquote art lowering the barrier of entry to art, and I'm just like, my brother in Christ, the barrier of entry to art is picking up a pencil. It's just picking up a pencil and making marks on a page, or like taking a lump of clay and shaping it, or like it's not there. There's no barrier. You're just upset that you can't make like a highly complex finished product, which you shouldn't care about, like just making a final product. Yeah, me making a bunch of sounds, exactly. Yeah, no, not me making a bunch of sounds, but like, yeah, no, like with music, right? And like writing, I mean, I guess you have to know how to write, right? You have to be literate to a certain extent to write, but like beyond that, you can just put words to any page, like physical or digital. right? Like there is no barrier to entry. It is there is a pretty high skill ceiling because humans have been at this whole art game for like over 1 million years. Right? Like humans have been making art since before anatomically modern humans have existed. Thank you, Nightbot. Very cool. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for working. But yeah, no, so like we've been making art longer than there have been anatomically modern humans. So like of course the skill ceiling is gonna be insanely high, right? But like the barrier of entry is literally just put some sort of paint or something on your hand, slam it on the wall, handprint. That's art. That's art right there. Right? And it's valuable. Right? It's the art is valuable. Anybody can cook, not everyone will be a professional one though. Yeah, true. And like you nobody should really like mark the sense of like being an artist to mean being able to make stuff that people pay for, right? Because if you're an artist, that just means you're somebody that makes art. That's it. No marker of quality, no like professional status of if you're making money on it or not. If you're somebody who is making art, then you are an artist. There is no barrier to entry. And like you're going to improve over time no matter what. Like if you keep at it. And so I'm just so upset at these like AI bros. Wi-Fi disconnected. What do you mean? I just disconnected for a moment. That's fine. Specifically on my phone. That's cool. Yeah, like I like art is you it, art is a uniquely approachable art like a form of creation. Oh God, you have no idea. Oh, there have been multiple times where my internet has died midstream. It started happening early and it's happened at least like 3, 4 times now. Oh, it sucks. It sucks when that happens, but there's not much you can really do about it besides like uh make the Wi-Fi restart again. Yeah, it is out of my hands at that point. There we go. I overdid it a little bit, but that's fine. By the way, how's your clown coming? How's your funny clown art coming? I'd love to see it once it's done. Also, how's the job hunting going? All right, it's going rough. Yeah, no, that's you asked for an art challenge. Oh, by the way, speaking of sending it, I think that Gremlin might also enjoy the clown. So feel free to put it in the your art section of the Discord server. Ah, you're cautiously optimistic. Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we'll do, chef. Exactly. All right, I'm gonna go refill my water, so I am going to draw my funny be right back face. Say BRB, and there we go. Why can't I English very good? The answer is because our education system is not great, and you kind of have to take it upon yourself to make progress in that department. That being said, I will be right back. I suggest that you also go get water, if you don't already have some. I have returned. Let me undo my be right back text. There we go. And now let us continue. Let's see if I do maybe something like that, and then just the one part I can God, there's this band called On Company Time that's very funny. They're a comedy band. They did one song called uh Half Horse Half Man, and it's very funny. I met her on the internet. We hadn't met in person yet. I'd just like you to say, I've been down this road before. I forget all the words to it. I need to learn them, but they're a very funny band. Oh, you saw it animated? Nice. They got affliction this way, and I'll be here all night. They did one recently that's literally just like, I took a shit and a wipe didn't work out well, and that's the entire song. Let me turn the volume down on my Bluetooth headphones because I was hearing it I was hearing it when they weren't on my head. They also did uh, the TikTok baby. We're coming for your TikTok baby. Oh yeah, we're coming for your TikTok baby. Like that song that was going around TikTok like wildfire like late last year. Okay, let's see. We're going to do that, and then the feet, the feet. Then if I, oh, do like that or something, and then have like this. There we go. I see you've sent me a thing. Ah, nice. I met her on the internet. We hadn't met in person yet. How to you to say it. I've been down this road before. I wanted more. There we go. Oh, by the way, I hope the timing of the Nightbot reminders isn't too much. Oh yeah, no, I did those at I did them at like 30 minutes and 45 minutes because that felt like a decent amount of time, and I guess this is when they overlap. All right, good. I don't want to be annoying, which is why like I hope it's not too much. I hope oh no, I hope it's not too much cuz like I don't know, I don't want to be annoying or anything. If I yeah, if I have this in the background. No, that's the cape. That shouldn't have like anything that there we go. And then I can have like a smaller peak, sort of just like peak. The funny joke out from like under there and have that. You know you say that. I you say that, but like neurodivergent people are often annoying without trying. I certainly have been like constantly. So I like to be conscious about it. And I'll be here all night. There we go. Yeah, no, yeah, no, exactly. I deal with that, and I fail. I fail to not be annoying. I care in the sense that like I don't want others to feel bad, but I don't care in the sense of like I'm not gonna change who I am just to be less annoying, you know? If you be like mostly a Shiloh and that wham. And I think like that. Yeah, that works. Yeah, no, exactly. I tried to do that way too much in the past, and I'm done. I'm done doing that. Really. This is the yes, not that one. Yes, this one. It lasted long term because it was with a family member. I won't get particularly into that, but like, yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work at all as like a relationship. This is a reminder to everybody listening. Find healthy relationships. They tend to work better. You know exactly. Like it doesn't work well. Uh, if you have to change who you are. Like it can last long term, but it's not gonna work. And so it's more important to find healthy people and being healthy, like have healthy relationships with them rather than trying to form yourself to fit someone else. That's not to say you shouldn't change or be a better person for somebody else, but like you shouldn't change the fundamental parts of who you are to make somebody else feel better about like existing. Sometimes it feels like I have way too much wisdom for my age, because like I am not old. I'm quite young. I am young and perhaps even spry. I mean, one day I won't be, but that's not for a while. Ah, the family member I was talking about didn't even like the idea of me. Wanted me to be like him, and not like myself, and that's not a healthy relationship to be in. Yeah, no, exactly. So again, the moral of the story is like find healthy relationships with healthy people. Like whatever kind of relationship that may be, right? Like I I certainly don't just mean like romantic relationships. I mean like all relationships. Make sure that you're a healthy person too, by the way. That's also important. I should state that up, like up front. It's also important to be a healthy person. I think this sketch is bad, but it's getting my point across, and that's kind of all that matters. I've done better art of this character. You know, 90% of my sketches log. Yeah, fair enough. Sketching is also a skill that you need to practice in art. So like you can sort of like learn your way out of that, but it certainly takes a lot of time and effort. Like for instance, one of my friends is really good at sketches, but doesn't do a lot of finished pieces. So he's trying to work at like actually finishing stuff. Cause that's a whole nother set of skills. Oh, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. No, if it, honestly, if I really really cared about the outcome of this piece, I would just redo it. But like this is sort of it's not supposed to be a detailed finished piece. It's supposed to be concept art. It's supposed to like evoke an idea. And so what matters is that the idea is being invoked. Wham. I do that, and then it goes down like this, and then there we go. There we go. It looks good. Uh, I like that aspect of thumbnails. You don't have to worry too much about everything looking polished. Yeah, exactly. Like even though I did a line art brush for the final layer of this, it's not to like make anything more exact. It's just to get that little extra bit of detail in there. That's like kind of needed, like some of the sharper edges, like writing, like a fun little pattern here that I didn't finish here, but I kind of don't care to finish. Making the trees more a little bit more detailed. It's very nice. Okay, let's get you and switch over to that. Go to like size 7, I think is the proper size, and there we go. Oh, this is Krita. It's spelled Krita. It is free and open source. So like if you wanna grab it, it's free. Like it's fully free. It's open source. You could do whatever the hell you want with it. Yeah, it's quite good. It's getting better and better over time. I think it's one of the oldest. I use Clip Studio. I see. A lot of people tend to use Clip Studio, I've noticed. And that is very based, but also I like this one because I've been using it since 2019 and it's just like been getting better and better. I got the one-time license on sale. Ooh, that's sick. If it works, stick with what you like. Yeah, no, exactly. I don't know if this pops up on I don't know if this pops up on stream, But if I do a control enter, it shows me every single command. It shows me like a complete command list, and so I can do stuff that there's no like hotkeys for. Yeah, it doesn't show up on stream. I did it, but it I was looking at it, so I can do like blur, Gaussian blur, a lot of different stuff, and it's super cool. Yeah, that's fair. I don't use many of the hotkeys. So like I get it. It's just that I appreciate they're there, and sometimes I do use like I use them every once in a while. Did something knock on my door? Oh, I have my mic. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, that was I usually turn off my audio. I usually turn off my audio capture when I'm when somebody comes in. Yeah, the panic. The panic is more that like I'm gonna have to edit it out. I'm gonna have to edit it out, and that's extra work on my part. But it's food, and food is good. Food is good and lovely. Let me move my Nintendo Switch. There we go. Yeah, yeah. No, the panic. Hold on, I need to show the image. It is hands down like my favorite image. Yeah, no, exactly. I was talking with a Berliner friend, like someone from Berlin, and they were like, "Yeah, of course you're so passionate about food. You're American." I don't know. That felt weird. That felt like a weird thing, but like it's true. Oh, I'm looking in screenshots. I don't know if it's here. Did I get rid of it? Did I get rid of the fear? They really call this out, damn, yeah. I mean, that's not exactly an unknown thing about Americans, right? Like, I think that's one of our main stereotypes is that we love food. Well, I am looking. I'm the looker. You can tell because I'm looking. Okay, you were at the door, but you weren't leaving. Especially with our big portions. Yeah, but like I've looked at a bunch of European food. We don't actually have much bigger portions than that. Hold on, I'm looking for a thing. Okay. Okay, it seems like I got rid of like my favorite image off my computer. So I have to find it. This is one of my favorite images of all time. Just the fear. All right, now you want out. There we go. Love you, Gracie. Yeah, no, the fear is very funny. That ain't just any little freak. That's King Dedede from Kirby. I think specifically that's a version of him from Kirby 64. Also, don't mind me. I'm eating. Mm. Hmm. More Kirby games? Yeah. I need to play more Kirby games. I need to get the third party Wii remotes up and running so that I can play my copy of Kirby's Epic Yarn again. I love that game. Basically, what my grandpa made me, and it was so sweet of him, is imagine a big biscuit, right? Like when I say a big biscuit, I mean like pancake sized, right? And you put ham and cheese in the middle. Inconceivable to the English mind. It also has actual spices, which means that again the British could never handle such power. God, have you? Oh, how much are you on TikTok? Because I've been getting stuff about this account called Footy Scran, which basically is about the like the food you'd find at like a British soccer game, and it looks evil. Like they made food look evil. Hold on, let me. Okay, I need to find the worst image. Footy Scran. Okay, in reality, it's not all bad, but like there's a specific account that that makes the food look evil. They grilled a pizza. They grilled a pizza. They had cheese fries, right, which is supposed to be nice, melty cheese, almost like a sauce. It was just a Kraft single on unseasoned fries. They had a cheeseburger that was just like fucking unseasoned fries. Oh, oh, found an image. There we go. So these are fries with mushy peas and gravy on them. Huh? What is wrong with this? What is wrong with that country? It's, what the fuck? I don't know. I don't know. Listen, we have a love for food. It feels it feels like England has a contempt for flavor. All of their good recipes are over 100 years old. They have not like ever since World War II. Not a single good thing has come out of like England. Like in terms of food, I think they like. Yeah, no, God. Right, like I love making fun of like Midwest food. I love fish and chips, and that's about it. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, fair, but that's not exactly unique because like that's just breaded cod and like fries, which, mind you, is absolute peak. Oh, by the way, speaking of British food, what are your thoughts on the phrase jellied eels and mushy peas? Because there's a really old restaurant in London that's what they serve. It's so fucking gross. Most of the good English food, yeah, you would want your money, but yeah, no, exactly. Most of the good like English food is either immigrant food, which is usually the case just in general. Immigrant food of most varieties is like peak, right? Or like meat pies, right? Like English meat pies are good. Like I saw this video of somebody talking about like uh how everybody thinks of French food as like really good, and it is. It can be, right? But like people are comparing like French and Italian food to like the rest of Europe. And so it's like winning it's like winning a swimming contest in the kiddie pool because like food from Mexico alone sweeps like instantly sweeps most of Europe. Like by itself, not even the rest of Latin America. Right? Like just Mexico. Yeah. And not even like basically every bit of food from like from Asia. Right? Southeast Asian food like Vietnamese, Thai, Laotian, all very good. All the different varieties of Indian food. All the different varieties of Chinese food, Japanese food is also really good. I haven't gotten the chance to experience like Filipino food. Yeah, basically. There's also a lot of uniquely American food that's very good. And when I say uniquely American food, I mean a lot of it comes from black people. right? Because that fucking oh my god, food. I just love food. Like a lot of what we consider like modern barbecue foods, uh, like have an origin in like the black community, and all of that food is peak. It is absolute peak food. It's so good. Right? I think food in Europe is just uniquely not that great, globally speaking. Right? Like Italian food is good. Like French food is good. German food is good. Spanish food is pretty good. The heart of America is immigrants and yeah, no, literally, yeah. Our our country is built on immigration, whether it be consensual immigration or not. In the case of the transatlantic slave trade, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why a lot of like food from Europe is just uniquely not great. Like England especially. Yeah, the slave trade is a bit of our history that shouldn't be ignored. Why do they like muck so much? A lot of it, with England came from like the Blitz in World War II. There's a lot of it was survival food, and then they just never got over it. Like there are a lot of places that had survival foods, like we did in the Great Depression, right? That like if we look at them now, it's like, oh, those are garbage, but like, they were made so people could survive on stuff. England never went back to like their decent food. They just kept going with their like World War II survival food. Yeah. England also has some good desserts, but that's not really like unique to England. Do you mean Max Miller or like Dylan? Yeah, because I mostly watch Tasting History with Max Miller, but I do also like Dylan. So much joy and a lot of jokes about having another man's cream inside of him. Fully respect it. Fully fucking respect it. Yeah, as God intended. All right, my delicious, delicious food has been finished. Also, I learned an interesting history fact about the American biscuit. So the reason they're called biscuits is because they originally like started from ship's biscuits, which are like hardtack. And then once like people came over here, they wanted to make that food more palatable because that's what they had, and so that's how the American biscuit came to be. And boy, can I tell you a oh god, buttermilk biscuits with cheese and butter, or like a bit, or like a really nice biscuit with like some like butter and like a nice tart jam. Oh my god, so good. Or like you have said biscuits with like uh said like buttermilk biscuits. But you have I don't mind it. I don't mind it as long as like the gravy is with something else. Primarily, and I'm like dipping the gravy, like I'm dipping the biscuit into the gravy. I don't like the gravy being poured onto the biscuit. Like a buttermilk biscuit with some like really good mac and cheese with like a crunchy layer of like breadcrumbs on top. Oh my god. And then like you can open up the biscuit and put some of that mac and cheese in the middle, and then you got just like you got a whole thing. Oh my god, it's so good. However, I will make fun of the Midwest until after the cows come home and leave again. Because they're fucking jello salads. Those aren't salads. They're a mistake. And fucking coleslaw? Coleslaw is the biggest mistake. Put it back. Put coleslaw the fuck back. Oh, that reminds me because coleslaw originally came from sauerkraut. Is that the other day I had a couple of Reubens. They made the sauerkraut taste like an old boot leather. I don't know how they did that. I really don't know how they did that. Like they made it taste like an old like made it taste like old boot leather. Like the rest of the sandwich was good. The corned beef was great. Like how did they mess up the sauerkraut? It's just pickled cabbage. That's what it is if I remember correctly. Oh, thank you. This is completely unrelated, but I just remembered a conversation I was having with a friend yesterday about how like I'm gonna be completely blunt here. I am a democratic socialist. I believe in socialism and the democratization of every aspect of our lives, including and especially the workplace. Uh, I will say though, I cannot I cannot interact with a lot of others like white socialists online. They're fucking insufferable. Especially like the ones that like the ones that identify as Marxist Leninists, because it's like, god damn. It really goes to show just because you believe in some good things doesn't necessarily make you a good person. Right? Like being a good person is another whole skill that you need to develop over time. That's right, being a good person is a skill. Right? Like it is a learned skill, and you wanna know how I learned this or how I know this? Because a lot of little kids are assholes. Right? They're greedy little assholes, and they have to learn through like love and respect from others and being taught what's right and wrong, how to act as good people. Yeah, no, exactly. And even lesser chill with the ace folks, but it's very different. Like with trans people, a lot of the like anti-trans queer people are actively hateful towards our trans peeps out there. Whereas like with ace people, it's a lot more of like a denial of existence more than anything. Which sucks when I'm on like when I'm on the receiving end of that. But like it's nowhere near as bad as like an actual hate crime, you know? Also, can I just say I fully believe that them making like trans people a big culture war thing has backfired on them a lot because because now trans people are more visible to the general like population of at least our country more than ever, right? And trans people are more and more vocal about their identities than ever, which means that more and more people are going to accept trans people. So these people that wanted to make it like a big culture war issue of like, they wanted to hate trans people, it's backfiring. Even in a community with a shared history of discrimination and erasure, we gatekeep. Yeah, no, exactly. And like that's the case with a lot of like generally leftist and progressive spaces, is that people tend to like fall into tribalism. Sorry, I got phlegm from eating. Yeah, but it's I mean, true, I do too, but also it's not just that. It's sort of like when gay people, like specifically homosexual individuals, became like a big talking point in the 80s, right? Like with the AIDS epidemic, is that like they were shot into the spotlight, and that meant that more and more people were going to accept them, as many people hadn't heard of like even heard of like homosexuals before in their life, and they certainly didn't realize that they've known some for their entire lives. Not even accidental ally. I mean, like people realizing how many gay people are in their lives that they care about, and people realizing, wait a minute, this isn't like some weird shady group of individuals. That's like my child. That's my friend. That's my like whoever, right? Yeah, no, that's why representation is important, and that's why I believe making it a big culture war issue is backfiring on these people. Yeah, your friend, your family, your coworker, your like yeah, no, exactly. Just some random person that helped you on the street one time. right? Like that's the thing with that's the thing. Like when they make something a big culture issue, it's because it's like sort of their last line of defense before people start just like leaving them behind, right? Like leaving these conservative grifters behind. So I believe, given time, the world does end up getting better. It's not like a linear process like some people want to believe, right? But like the world does get better. Progress in society generally does move forward to some extent. Things do eventually work out. It's just, you can't exactly just wait for it to happen. You have to be part of that change. But like, it's going to happen. Yeah, it's more like a maze. Sometimes you find a dead end, but eventually you get out to the other side. Mm. Remember to drink water after eating something heavy because you could get some bad phlegm. Oh boy. Mm. I don't know if I've seen The Good Place. That's the one where they realize that they're in the bad place, right? Like like there's one specific scene where it's like, oh, I get it. We're already in the bad place. Ah, okay. Yeah, I might need to watch that. I've heard that quote a lot. I've even quoted it. Mm. Speaking of shows that I've heard are good that I need to watch is Severance. Is I really love that sort of like trippy existential dread type stuff. Right? Like I live for that shit. Oh, yeah, fair enough. Man, like it's my favorite kind of horror personally. I'm not a massive fan of slashers. I'm not a massive fan of like, well, mostly slashers. I'm mostly not a fan of slashers, honestly. I like my horror to be a lot more existential and like weird. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Slashers genuinely like have value to them, right? It's just I don't prefer. It's not what I prefer, and I'm not gonna shit on them just because I don't like them. And also, I completely get that. Like with anxiety, my anxiety is pretty bad. I have pretty bad anxiety, so I understand. But also, like you you're never gonna like get better with anxiety if you just like avoid what makes you anxious all the time. At least that's how I see it. Yeah, I understand that for some folks, they are engaging or cathartic. It's not even that they're engaging or cathartic. I want to feel scared when I look at a horror thing. I want to feel like I'm in danger. It's a weird like piece of like emotional masochism. For some reason I like putting myself through negative emotions. It's the thrill of going on a roller coaster. Exactly. By the way, I also love roller coasters. I need to go on more. I hope Enchanted Forest is still going well. If I find out that it's going out of business, I'm gonna cry. For those who don't know, Enchanted Forest is a sort of like a theme park, like a very local theme park place with rides and stuff, and like a haunted house that's pretty fun. The last time you were there, it wasn't doing so hot. When was the last time you were there? Because I was like, was that pandemic? Let me look it up actually. Enchanted Forest. It's still up and running. It for your middle school graduation. All right. Yeah, it said closed. Opens on Saturday. So like, yeah, it's open. It's still going for business. That makes me very happy. Oh yeah, me too. My favorite though is the roller coaster with like the Yeti. I love that one. Ah, that reminds me. I haven't been to Oaks Amusement Park in a long time. I think it should still be running. It's fairly popular, but it's like out in Port. It's like out in deep Portland on like just the other side of the Willamette, and so it's a bit out of the way. But I would love to go again. I haven't been to that one since I was like early double digits or like late single digits, I think, in age. It's been a while. But like, remember the ads where it's like Oaks Amusement Park, and then it showed like all the fun rides and stuff, and like I think we need to like as a state and also a bit as a country, we need to re-incentivize like television. Is like the internet is a very valuable resource, but also I like the vibe of television. The ads had to be like kind of fun, right? Like they had to be fun or engaging because you could just like turn the channel. God, yeah. And like the ones that had the fun jingles. 1-800-588-2300 Empire today. Like that's also very fun. The Zoo Pals was also really catchy. Make sure to hire folks who know real humor. Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. And also, this is 100% a local thing, right? So, fun fact: O'Reilly's Auto Parts is a local thing. It's not like a countrywide chain. Uh, and but like hearing the O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Yeah, no, it's a local thing. Same with Fred Meyer's. Fred Meyer's is like a local store chain. I mean, it's owned by Kroger, which is like national, but it itself is local. 588-2300 Empire Today. Man, I would love to like, even if it's like a an internet show or something, I would eventually love to make like educational, like, edutainment style like kids shows, because I feel like that's very valuable. Did you ever watch Kubo as a kid? Yeah, and also that's spelled with a Q, right? Yeah, no, I love Kubo. It had like 321 penguins, and it had Babar, and it had like, I forget some of the other ones, but I definitely remember those two. And I remember, I love that one alien show. Yeah, Chalk Zone was on it too, right? And also Jane and the Dragon was also fun. I like that one. Fuck yeah. Also, can I just say, the Magic School Bus was one of the best things that PBS ever, like ever aired. Honestly, on the Magic School Bus. I do this too, like, I don't know, size 32, I think. The reboot designs are not good. I will say, the reboot designs are not good. They whitewashed my favorite Jewish lesbian, also known as Miss Frizz. And also they made all like the characters that were people of color, they made their skin tones a bit lighter. Yeah, they got rid of her like fun curly hair, and like and like her like and her like big nose, and they just made her look like a generic white woman character in the reboot. I mean, she's still a redhead, right? But like, she doesn't have her really fun like curly like bead updo. That would be a fun challenge. Oh, also, did you hear that the Wildcrats is coming back? I looked at their Wikipedia recently, and it shows that it's ongoing with a new season. Like, I was looking at the PBS Kids the Wikipedia page earlier today, and it said season 7 ongoing. But like, I remember it ended a bit ago at season 6, which means there's new Wildcrats coming out. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for like the kids that get to now grow up with Wildcrats. Oh, have they? That's awesome. Also, Phineas and Ferb is coming back. Did you hear that? Dan Povenmire's been talking about it. Like, it's coming back. Yeah, it's wild, you could say. And neither of them are like reboots or anything. They're all like new seasons. They're new seasons of the show, like, just continuing. And they all have like most of the original cast, which is so cool. I generally trust Dan Povenmire for Phineas and Ferb. Because like he is just the creator. Oh yeah. God, across the second dimension. It's such a good movie. I remember I had the 3DS game tie-in for that. It was a very fun 2D platformer. I also had a Beyblade video game that came with a free Beyblade, and I loved that thing. I loved that. I love that Beyblade. The game was fine. The game wasn't anything to write home about, but that Beyblade was real cool. We can. We just have to make them ourselves. Hold on, let me ban this thing. There we go. Be gone. I get I get some bots and scammers on my chat because they think since I'm a really small streamer that I'm desperate. I was like, no, when I started this, I basically signed up to like, no, I'm fine with being a small streamer for like a while, you know? Like actually like streamers have told me directly like, if you don't have what it takes to stream to nobody sometimes, then you don't have it cut like you're not cut out for streaming. And so like I remember to keep in mind like this is just how the process goes, right? Like there are going to be days where nobody shows up and there's going to be days where a surprising number of people show up. And it's fine. Like both are fine. And I should just be able to have a good time regardless of how many people are here. Yeah, exactly. I got to have a good time. And I do. Fun fact, I do have a good time basically every stream. Sometimes it's less good. Like sometimes they're less good than other times, but like that's more of an independent. I don't like how that looks, so I'm gonna undo that. Okay, so my phone is currently at like 6%. So and I use my phone for chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. The more reps you get in, the better you get at handling being alone. Exactly. Exactly. And also the more streams I do, the more used to the more used to like talking I am. So I should be able to be entertaining and be able to talk to nobody is sort of also the main thing. Right? Like if you're gonna cut it out for streaming, you have to learn how to be able to like be entertaining without an audience to bounce off of. Yes, it does make sense. All that being said, I'm going to save what I'm doing. Save as. What did I call the thing? Okay, there we go. Clown platformer concept art dash 2. Save. Sonic, put those grippers away! Hey, Amy, wow, those dogs are barking. God, I love that video so much. It sucks. All right. I screenshotted the thing so I can send them to the Discord of my game projects. That being said, my phone is about to die. So I'm going to swap over the just chatting, and I'm gonna do my ending read if that is okay. Uh, I'm gonna do it regardless, but I just say if it's okay, so that like it softens up to it. Yeah, go for it. All right. I've been Bajongles. You can find me over here on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, noon Pacific Standard Time. I would really appreciate a follow. Speaking of following, you can also find me over on Bluesky and Tumblr at BigBoyArt1. Username Bajongles. You can also find these VODs on YouTube a week after they happen here on Twitch. Speaking of YouTube, consider liking and subscribing. That would be much appreciated. And with that, I will catch you on the flip flop. I'm going to be doing more gaming on Sunday. Bye bye.